Now to our main discussion. The police on Monday invited Joe Ajaero for questioning on charges connected to criminal conspiracy, terrorism financing, treasonable felony, subversion, and cybercrime. The letter of invitation signed by ACP Adamo Muazu on behalf of the Commission of Police Intelligence mentions that Mr. Ajaero's name was mentioned in ongoing investigations. The letter also warns that a warrant of arrest will be issued if he failed to report today. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Labour Congress has requested an extension of time for its president, Joe Ajaero, to respond to the police invitation over the allegation of terrorism financing. In a letter by solicitors to the NLC, signed by Samuel Ogala, it said Joe Ajaero is unable to honor today's invitation as he has an engagement that had been fixed before the receipt of the invitation. The letter also stated that Mr. Ajaero is prepared to attend the interview on Wednesday, 29th of August. The NLC president is also requesting to know details and nature of the allegations of criminal conspiracy, terrorism financing, treasonable felony, subversion, and cybercrime leveled against him. In the meantime, members of the union earlier today gathered at the union's headquarters in Abuja as a show of solidarity for the NLC president. For more on this development, Secretary General of the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, Nuhu Toro, joins me via Zoom from Abuja. Good to have you join us, Mr. Toro. You know, there's been a lot of questions as to why the NLC is making a noise about the invitation extended to Joe Ajaero by the police for questioning.
Could you take that question again?
Yes, I'm asking why there seems to be a lot of noise. Why is the NLC making a noise about police inviting Joe Ajaero for questioning? Mr. Toro, please.
Well, I think the point is basically that people have a right to their opinion. So you can decide to call it making noise. You can decide to call it whatever you like. But the truth is, the invitation came to us with root shock. Root shock in the sense that if there are such grievous allegations, we expect a thorough investigation preceding the invitation. However, we are not also mindful that is in the course of the interaction that some of the gray issues will pop up. But it's not that we are making noise. It's just that we are deeply surprised with the invitation. I mean, with the caliber of persons involved. If it were maybe a principal officer or an assistant secretary of the NLC or the TUC, I mean, it will have been a different ballgame entirely. But this is the president of a trade union center we are talking about. So that position is sacred. It's not even Ajaero. It's the workers. The workers is an affront against the workers. That is why you hear a lot of commentaries here and there.
You mentioned earlier that, you know, the police should have conducted thorough investigation, but then you also inferred the fact that it's through his interaction with the police that some of these matters would actually pop up. So Joe Ajaero, I believe, is a Nigerian citizen and, you know, just like any other person, should be able to honor an invitation if invited by the police. So what do you think should be the next steps now?
Well, I think you are also getting it all wrong. Nobody is reneging from seeing the police. After all, police are paid with taxpayers' money. And Joe Ajaero, until proven guilty, has not committed any crime. So nobody is refusing to attend to a police invitation. Far from that. What the NLC said, and I believe is in the public domain, is that the date that was fixed by the Nigerian police is not convenient for them. And however, they requested for another day, which is it's a normal procedure. If, for instance, Joe Ajaero is not in Abuja, you don't expect him to come from where he is. Assuming he's out of the country, you don't expect him to come back simply to attend to an invitation from the police. So nobody is running away. He's going to avail himself. He's going to avail himself and tell them what he knows as far as the allegation whatsoever is concerned. So for us, like I said, it came with root shock. Root shock in the sense that we would have expected the police to be more diligent, to have done their due diligence, before coming up with this invite. But however, Joe Ajaero will avail himself, will interact with the police and tell them what he knows as far as these allegations are concerned.
Mr. Torre, when you talk about due diligence, one somehow wonders what that means, because at the moment, I'm not sure I've heard of any concerns being raised about the police saying they are yet to conclude the investigations, on this case, and which is actually one of the reasons they are inviting him. But then, what do you make of the gathering of NLC members earlier today in solidarity with Joe Ajaero? Is that supposed to be some form of intimidation of the police, or what exactly?
No, I'm not sure this assertion is correct. It's erroneous, because we don't have guns. The working people have only their membership. We don't have guns. The police have guns. So if you invite a president of a trade union center and his members are coming to say what is the problem, or they are coming to make inquiries about why the invitation, is there anything wrong in it?
But is this really about inquiries, Mr. Toro? Is this about inquiries? Yes. You have them with their fists up there chanting, and with different slogans they are making there. Is that just a show of support or what?
Well, you can call it whatever you deem fit, but for us in the trade union movement, we have a slogan, a common slogan, that an injury to one is an injury to all. So if you are indicting the leadership of the NLC and the members are coming to find out from their leaders what the problem is, what is wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. They are not carrying guns. They are not carrying weapons. Don't forget, they are harmless Nigerian workers. So I don't see anything wrong in that. I don't see anything wrong in that.
All right, now, so Mr. Ajaero has requested to appear on Wednesday, 29th of August. Do you have the confidence that he would actually appear before the police to answer to the questions leveled against him?
Why not? I am very confident that he will appear. He had conveyed that to the police. We are men of honor and integrity. He will definitely appear. He will appear before the police on that date that he has alluded to.
Secretary General, Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, Nuhu Toro, thank you for talking to us on the program.
Thank you for having me.
We'll also have joining us to discuss this matter a senior advocate of Nigeria and former Attorney General of Kwara State, Salman Jawondo. But that will be after this break. Thank you for joining us on the program Beyond 100 Days. We are talking about the police invitation extended to President of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Joe Ajaero. And joining us for more on the discussion is a senior advocate of Nigeria and former Attorney General of Kwara State, Salman Jawondo. Good to have you join us on the program. Before you came on, I was speaking with the Secretary General of the Trade Union Congress about this development. And he mentioned that they received the news of Mr. Ajaero's invitation with root shock, and that they expected that the police would have, concluded investigations before he was invited. And I'm wondering if there is any reason to doubt that the police actually knows what they're doing in this case. Mr. Jawondo.
I think, thank you for having me. I also read about the invitation extended to the NLC president by the police with respect to some offenses or crimes under the law. And I think given the police powers under the Police Act and the Constitution, the invitation is not out of place. The police has that power to invite anybody in respect of any matter being investigated by the police. And from the context of the letter and the fact that the allegations stated there in the crimes being investigated are serious crimes, which ordinarily the police are entitled to arrest a suspect or a defender. Now, having not arrested or made an attempt to arrest him by extending an invitation, I think the police is civil enough. However, given the time frame between the time the letter was delivered to him and the time was to appear, I think it was too short a period. So I think that's the only area where I think is asking for extension is justified. Yet the police has that power to invite anybody.
All right.
And it is not part of their responsibility to inform or involve anybody, any other person other than the person affected before they can extend such a invitation. So the argument of the labor union that they were surprised, they didn't know, they could not have known until and unless the invitation extended to him. So the fact that the man is the president of the Labour Congress in Nigeria, the union and whatever position, agree his position is strategic as far as the leadership of trade union is concerned in Nigeria. But that is not an amenity for him that he cannot be invited. It is after the invitation, and you see the police from their comment, they said the level of evidence they have gathered in respect of the individual being wanted as an international terrorist will marvel or surprise anybody. So that means the police have done some level of investigation which connect or means that the attention of Mr. Ajaero is required. It could be to clarify certain things. He has not been accused of having committed any of these alleged offenses. Is invited to explain certain things. So I think the invitation is in order and in compliance with the law, except that the time frame given does not give him enough time to prepare.
What should have been an ideal? Yeah, Mr. Chairman, what should have been an ideal time frame for the invitation?
And I think in the circumstance, given the fact of his special position as the leader of the trade union of the country, I think 3-4 days will have been an ideal period, so that he will be able to consult his lawyer and then prepare whatever he wants to prepare. More especially that the details of the allegations are not stated in the letter.
All right then. Now, one of the requests that his solicitors are making are actually, they're citing Section 36 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, and are requesting details of the alleged crimes, that he's been accused of having committed. So what's your take?
Well, you see, I think when he gets to the police, they will have to give him the details. But for now, it's just an invitation. In fact, the invitation could be for him to even to clarify issues, not that he's accused of the offense. So it depends on the level of his involvement, whether it could even be to be a witness. So it is when he gets to the police that the police will now tell him this. It is not expected that the police will state that in the letter. What is expected is what the police have done, stating that this is the offenses they are investigating and they need his attention. I think for now, under Section 36, it is at the level of interrogation that you will now be confronted with the details of the allegations or crimes involved. That is, if he's now being invited not only to clear some gray areas, but as a suspect, then the police will now tell him details.
Requested an extension of more than a week. He's requesting to appear on Wednesday 29th, which is 8 days or thereabout following the invitation. How do you advise the police to respond to that?
Well, I think, like I said, given a special position, there's nothing wrong if the police oblige him or favor him with the day he has requested for. Although the police still has that power not to agree with him, they can reduce the number of days he requested for. But since the police have done extensive investigation on the respect of the matter, the time given will not change anything. Particularly, they already have their facts and documents, so it cannot change anything. So I think there's nothing wrong, in my opinion, if the police oblige him with the number of days asked for. But if they do not oblige him and give him another day that is shorter than what he has requested for, the police will still be active within the laws.
All right. And then earlier today, we saw members of the union gather in solidarity with Joe Ajaero. Do you see that in any way influencing or interfering with this case?
Well, it's not unexpected of labor unions. They are always on their looter, but that will not change anything. The fact, I even heard that they had an emergency meeting and said if the man is detained, is arrested, they should shut down the country. That should not be the approach. Because their approach is preemptive of the fact that the man has something to hide. That is the implication. That is the pointer that perhaps they knew already that the man has something to hide. If he does not have anything to hide, and it's not connected with any of these crimes, there's no basis for being preemptive. The demonstration, the solidarity, for me, are preemptive, and they will not change anything. Nobody is above the law of the land.
And do you have any reasons to doubt the intentions or motives of the police in this case?
For now, I don't have any reasons. I don't have any reason. You will remember that terrorism, subversion, treasonable felonies are becoming more of recurrent in this country nowadays. So the police and all security agencies need to tighten up the situation, the security environment, so that, and they said prevention is better than cure. So it is better the police are alert to their responsibilities. So for me, I do not see the matter beyond what is in the public domain now. Mere invitation to a citizen of the country to assist the police in investigation of serious crimes. That is the way I see it for now.
All right. And just before we go, what would you say to, lawyers involved in this case? Because over time we've heard about lawyers themselves bringing up, requesting extensions, which sometimes have a way of slowing down the progress of the proceedings in the law court. What would be your charge at this time to ensure speedy dispensation of, this matter?
You see, I won't know the fact at the disposal of the lawyers that is asking for a text. That's Femi Fala and SN. I will not know the fact at the disposal, and I will not know the reasons why they are asking for a week. But the fact remains that he is entitled to ask for extension if the date fixed is not convenient. So whether that 1 week will slow down the pace of investigation or not, it depends on what is available with the police. But I think 1 week will not change anything.
Senior Advocate of Nigeria and former Attorney General Kwara State, Salman Jawando, thank you so much for talking to us on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Well, that's our program today. We thank you for being a part of it.